this afternoon we have two very interesting guests. We have Cynthia Clarke. She's a British Nigerian actress, and Abel says she originally hails from Manchester, which makes it very interesting. We're going to be talking to her about that. I saw her, she's from a native of Ogoja in Cross River. Ikom in Cross River. She's Efik by
Ofutop.
Oh, okay.
Ofutop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw her for the first time in Omoni Oboli's movie, and she's done a couple of that and a lot of that. And I must confess that my own impression of having to deal with her is something different from a lot of Nollywood stars. She doesn't have any airs. I met her at the premiere of Omoni's Wives on Strike,
Okay.
Part 3. And she was so free when I approached her to take her number, and I passed it for them to speak to her to come for a Born Award, and it was just very smooth, no stress, nothing. So we're going to be talking to Cynthia today. She's going to tell us our Nollywood stories, our challenges, our wins, and during the course of our trip, she was talking about a big project that she's trying to make in 2025. We're going to be talking about everything this afternoon. And the fact that all of you that are seeing her and are looking at her and rolling on screen and saying, look at this beautiful woman, she's happily married. We're going to be talking about
With
all
kids,
that.
please.
With kids.
With kids.
We're going to be talking about all that this afternoon. First, let me ask you, do you have any background in film, or what did you study in school?
I studied medicine.
Oh, you're a doctor.
Yes, I'm a licensed neurosurgeon.
Oh, wow.
Neurosurgeon.
Yes.
This Nollywood will not stop impressing me. Go ahead.
However, I got into the Nollywood industry at 8 months old.
Okay.
I started shooting with Izu Ojukwu.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Then I moved on to do stage performances with Jetta Amata.
Oh, wow.
interesting.
But I left the industry at about 5-6 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
You left to stay abroad?
School.
To school?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you come back? After you, because I know that from my own exposure, I know that when you study medicine, you make a lot of money in some countries, especially in Britain, you understand? And you now came back to the uncertain waters of Nollywood. Why did you make that decision?
Well, firstly, I don't practice, even though I'm licensed. About 3-4 years ago, there was an online audition, and my friends were like, you're gonna be a good actor, so just try it out. And that audition pushed me into my first project, which was Rishante's for Multi-Choice. Yes, I played supporting lead, Serena Kuramatanga. Yeah, I did season 1, I did season 2. So that was like my entrance back into Nollywood. And then after that, I did a YouTube project where I played twins, which was called Band of 5. And I just continued that way. But I never thought about it when I came back. It wasn't I want to be an actor.
What were you planning to do when you came back?
I just wanted to see if the industry had changed at all since when I left. Because based on what it was when I left, it wasn't something I thought I want to be part of anymore. But when I came back and it was changed, I was like, yeah, we can do this.
I see that if you look at the movies you've done, if you look at 10 movies, I think you have done 6 with Omoni. What's the chemistry? Are you friends, or is it Tomi, or is it just...
I wouldn't say friends. We are business partners. But the reason why most of my films are with Omoni is I'm a weakling for good stories. So when it comes to the industry, a lot of the films we have out there are not necessarily good stories. It's the same old girl falls in love with some rich guy. It's the same story all the time. Now, I'm more of a good story person because if I read your script and I see some sort of something different in that script, I would be interested. I always say things like, if you ask me to play a dustbin in a good script, I would play a dustbin in a good script. So every single script I've had with Omoni Oboli was always a good script. And I have said yes to every single one she sent to me. So that's why most of my films are with Omoni.
Okay.
So what in particular determines the scripts you reject and the ones you accept?
We have the cliche scripts that surround Nollywood, basically. There's the scripts where there's nothing holding water. It's just someone fell in love, or someone was sick, or someone got pregnant, or someone got this. It's just, we don't have subplots in Nollywood films. So if I'm seeing your main plot has nothing to it, and your main plot wouldn't even be good as a subplot, I'm not going to accept.
Okay.
Irrespective of the pay.
Irrespective of the pay.
You've been married for a while.
Yes.
Has marriage affected Nollywood? Is your husband supportive of what you do?
My husband is very supportive. My husband is my manager, by the way.
Oh, okay.
My husband's also a director and cinematographer, so...
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's also my acting coach.
Oh.
Did they relocate with you, or you both still stay in the UK and just come here for job and return back?
No. So I relocated before I got married.
Okay.
I relocated back to Nigeria even before I got married, mostly for personal reasons, but I had to relocate. Then I relocated from Abuja to Lagos because of my husband.
Oh, okay. You used to.
I used to stay in Abuja.
Did you try any Nollywood in Abuja?
Yes, that's where I did Rishantes, I did Band of Five, I did another one with Judy Austin, and I've done a Netflix one that is not out yet.
Okay. Whose project is that?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I signed an NDA.
Oh, okay. No problem. Now, let's talk about Nollywood. I'm sure that because of the fact that you basically, your background is different from most of the guys in Nollywood, does it affect the way that you deal with people, or you are dealt with?
I would say yes, slightly. There's things I would do that I wouldn't be confronted about, but the average Nigerian would be confronted about.
Things like what?
I would say my smoking breaks on set. I know a lot of people who would go, oh no, but before I go to a production, I always point out that I need to have smoking breaks in a designated smoking area. So there's also, I spend 12 hours on set. My day starts from 8 a.m. down to 10 p.m. latest, and then I go home. If I'm going to have night scenes, I come by 6 p.m. Because I've had too many situations where I'd spend over 20 hours on set. And then I'm drained. I can't handle my family. My husband would get upset with me at that moment, but I can't take that to productions. But I made those rules at some point when I realized I needed rest myself, because my entire job is my face. So if my face looks puffy, I can't come to set. There's little things where I would make a suggestion on how a scene should be done right, but I don't think that's because of where I am from. I think I give enough logic behind my reasoning to actually get a response from the director or the DP.
Okay. Now, taking that question deeper, has there been a situation where maybe because I know that sometimes it's very difficult to have rules in Hollywood. I know because I've seen it all, so to say. Are there situations where your rules has caused issues with you and producers, or maybe your fellow actors, and then they look at that, what's wrong with that? Does she think because she's so, has that happened?
Multiple times.
How do you handle it?
Um, let's just say my smile can be very deceiving.
Now, let's go. I see that you also easily do a lot of very good romantic scenes that are believable. Does Azad, does your husband has he had reason to ever complain about that?
My husband coaches me through those scenes.
Oh, wow.
Do you fear being stereotyped?
Not necessarily, because every single thing I have out there is a very different character. And I've made sure of that, because in the industry, the moment they think you're good at one thing, they keep giving you that.
Exactly.
For example, I played a character where I had a core Akwa Ibom accent, which was hustle. So there's that. In the thing I played Twins, I spoke with Potako Pidgin. So I've always given myself...
Tell us that Potako Pidgin. Even me, I don't believe you say if it to come.
I came with my corporate self, sir. I don't want to cap the kind of thing where you go confused.
You sure?
Yeah. Because my capping machine on.
Yeah. Okay, you are born recently. You went with you were with Wale Ojo and Segun Arinze. You sat with the First Lady of Kwara State.
Yeah.
And you read to children in a hall.
Yeah.
At the sugar factory, rather.
Yeah.
What would you say that experience has brought to you? One, and two, was that your first time of doing such?
Reading to children? No.
Okay.
No, it wasn't my first experience. We barely have moments where we can give back to the next generation. And it's not just about going to an award ceremony or the razzmatazz and the red carpet. I'll be honest. The reason I didn't miss my flight that morning was because I had to read for those children.
Interesting.
I'm not a fan of the razzmatazz. I don't like the red carpets. I like to be by myself, and that's why I live a very private life. And when I had that moment, it was, oh, nice. And watching the kids actually listen to what you're saying, you're not just talking to an empty room.
True.
You're actually impacting some sort of knowledge onto the next generation.
Mm.
And that's a moment that would remain in their memories, because you would hear them later on, oh, do you know when I was younger, the First Lady of Kwara State read to me, as well as Segun Arinze, Wale Ojo, Kemi, and one white woman that was sitting there. We're not sure about her name, but I think her name was
the
Cynthia.
Commissioner for Education.
No, like, this is the conversation.
Ah, okay.
There's one white woman that was sitting there. You get where I'm coming
Okay.
from. But it's something that would actually stay in their memory. And that is necessary.
So I mean, I'm bothered about something, and I would want you to just explain to me. So you said earlier on that you started acting at 1 month old.
8.
8 month old. So obviously you have no idea of what you did.
It was The Princess and the Golden Mask.
No, I'm saying obviously you had no idea of what you
I
did.
don't know.
But your parents did.
I don't know.
But
I
your
was
parents
just
did.
told. My mother did. My mom pulled me into acting.
Interesting. Thank
Yeah.
you.
What does your mom do?
My mom used to be a musician, then she became an actress, and right now my mother is living out her retirement.
Oh, okay. How was childhood like? What did childhood influence what you are doing today?
My childhood was very different from the average childhood that we have around.
Tell me about it.
So I was raised in a mixed home where I was mostly raised as an English girl, but I had the back end of the Nigerianness. And there was always that back end of the Nigerianness.
Mhm.
So the same way I would wake up in the morning and look at my dad and say, hello, devil, is the same way I'd see my mother and go, oh, good morning, mommy. How was your night? Are you fine? Or if my dad yells at me and I go, don't fuck it up. I'm on radio. When my dad yells at me, I'm like, don't talk to me like that. And I walk away. My mom yells at me. I'm like, Mommy, I'm very sorry. I did not mean to. So my upbringing was, I had to live enough personalities that getting into acting was easy. Because I can pull up any personality to make anyone comfortable. And as long as you can do that, you can go into acting easily.
Okay, as we're rounding down, because of time, let's talk about family. How did you meet your husband?
My husband was a family friend.
Wow.
So it was, or it is, an inside gist. Okay.
My husband
I wish
was a
it's
family
close.
friend.
I wish it's close to the mic, so we can hear from him too. But
My
go
husband
ahead.
was a family friend. You know, biracial kids being together, and mostly when biracial kids meet themselves, we tend to family tag ourselves.
Mhm.
So my husband's 17 years older than me.
Wow.
Yes, he doesn't look it. I
He
know.
doesn't.
He doesn't look
He
it.
doesn't.
So he was like a big bro.
Okay.
And then somewhere down the line, he stopped looking like a big bro in my eyes.
Because he wasn't even looking the age.
No, he wasn't looking like a big bro anymore. He was looking like, well, you know, we're not really related. We've got no relation whatsoever. Like, he's American and from River State. I'm English, Portuguese, and there's no mixture, so might as well just go down that road. And yeah, that's how my husband and I met.
I have two more questions before we go. One of them is this. As a young actress, you don't look married. Does that make a lot of men throw passes at you? And how do you take it?
I talk about my husband enough to make anyone understand that I'm married. In every conversation, there's always my husband, my husband, my husband. And also, I think if you don't set boundaries, people will always cross it.
Mm.
You don't need to know I am married to know not to bring up that conversation, because I don't even keep that door open. I'm only approachable when I decide to be. But my natural state, I'm not approachable at all. So coming to say hi, you need to see some sort of opening. And if there's no opening, you can't say hi.
Now, you started when you're very young. You came back to the industry. So obviously you've seen the good, the bad, the ugly of the industry. Now, where do you see yourself in the next 3-4 years?
I wouldn't be as much of an actor, but I'd be a producer.
Okay. Tell us about that movie that you are working on now.
So I wrote my first project. I wrote it myself, EPing. My husband is directing and DPing. And my inspiration was to write something that, I'll be honest, the original idea of that was to put it on YouTube so I could test the waters as a producer.
Okay.
But everyone who saw my synopsis told me no. So they were like, yeah, you have to do cinema or streaming platform. And I was like, okay, fine. If the heavens are talking, I'll do that. But I wanted to write something different. I wanted a moment where I would actually tell people, you're capable of way more than we're used to being, like we're used to putting out there. Because in Nollywood, we're so comfortable with a certain standard that we haven't tried to go past that standard. And the honest thing is, this film I want to put out would either make or break my career. Make it in a way where it says, this is what we're capable of, up your game, because the new kids are on the block, fix it. Or it would go, I push it too much, and then the other people in the industry would fight it.
Sorry. So my question is, why would you want to risk all that?
Because what's life without risk?
Interesting.
All right. I wish you all the best of luck, and be assured that we are here to help push to help put it in the face of people when the project out, and we are waiting to also watch.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking time to come on the program to talk about your Nollywood story, and I'm sure that a lot of people must have found it interesting, and some young people who are trying to become Nollywood, to come into Nollywood to be an actress would have learned one or two things from you. Thank you, Cynthia, and keep winning.
Thank you.
Thank you.